So just on shifting the short-run aggregate supply curve, everything that shifts the long-run aggregate supply curve will shift the short-run aggregate supply curve. So if it ends up moving the long run, it would have to move the short run first. So if you had, let's say, more capital, like more machinery, or how about this, better technology? Better technology will shift long-run aggregate supply to the right, so that allows you to produce more in the long run, but it also allows you to produce more in the short run, which would mean short-run aggregate supply would also shift to the right. So everything that shifts the long-run aggregate supply curve also shifts the short-run aggregate supply curve. We want to bring in one other aspect of price expectations adjusting, shifting the short-run aggregate supply curve, because this is going to help jive our short-run and long-run models. So when price expectations are allowed to change, that will also shift the short-run aggregate supply curve. So if, for example, firms start to expect higher price levels in the economy, so think about they expect higher prices for labor, so wages become higher for the firms. When wages increase, the profit margins are kind of now crunched. Producing becomes less profitable, and the short-run aggregate supply curve will shift to the left. So you can kind of see, notice it doesn't change the natural rate of output in the long run at all, but the idea being when price levels are expected to be higher, firms now have to pay higher amounts for their labor that they use to make products. Higher labor costs reduce profit margins. Anytime something becomes less profitable, you try to do less of it. Supply shifts to the left. And notice if price levels were expected to then be lower, then firms would assume, okay, lower labor costs and short-run aggregate supply curve would shift to the right. So that's important for driving our short-run and long-run models, that when expectations of price levels change, it affects the profitability for the firms, which then shifts the curve either to the left if prices are expected to be higher, or to the right if expected prices were to be lower in the economy. So changes in expectations of price levels can shift the short-run aggregate supply curve.